For House Republicans, the first year of their new majority was a lesson in humility. Plagued by infighting, historic expulsions and intermittent exceptions. Don't count the almost 4 weeks without an elected speaker and public wrangling. Inner dysfunction is also reflected in key metrics. Only 31 laws became law 2023. This is the lowest number in the modern era, more than 50 years. Even some Republicans acknowledge that domestic discord and low productivity are intrinsically linked. Part it has to do with state. The House, Sen. Mike Rounds said low-number bills signed into law. The parliament is really always on the edge, which has made it difficult to get laws passed and passed. That's not always a bad thing, Rounds added. But, you had 2 speakers. They interfered with their investigation. And that's one of reasons why issues like passing the NDAA are deadlocked. Just because members who are actually passionate about passing legislation recognize that this is one of few tools that actually moves. Divided government and a slim GOP majority in the House always meant it would be difficult to find bipartisan consensus in lawmaking. However, the number of bills passed is significantly lower than during other periods of divided government. These structural problems are exacerbated by the GOP's infighting. Conservative House Republicans began year insisting on passing all 12 regular appropriations bills one by one rather than resorting to the massive sweeping spending bill that has become norm. But disagreements over spending levels and policymakers have led Democrats to refuse to support these bills. And Republicans have repeatedly blocked passage of many of them. After that, major pieces of legislation enacted this year include a debt limit increase bill that has infuriated the right wing and 2 clean short-term government funding extensions that have also angered conservatives. President Biden also signed annual defense authorization bill, which comes with major disagreements over socially conservative policies and the short-term extension of Section 702 spying authorities of Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. Rep. Chip Roy, hardline conservative, the center who has pushed for lower spending levels and socially conservative policies, expressed frustration that Republicans were not vocal enough in a fiery speech November. It was about lack of will among Republicans. One thing. I want my Republican colleagues to give me something. 1. I can go on campaigning and say we did it, he said. If anyone sitting in complex wants come to podium and explain me something substantive, significant that Republican majority has done, well, I guess it's not as bad as Democrats. Another measure reflects how anger and the politics of revenge take over the room. The House of Representatives formally censured 3 Democratic members of Congress this year. This was the highest censure in a year since 1870, when 3 Mem.